but I still own that, I'm privileged enough that, I still could go to UI. So to answer this question, I think everyone should have a privilege, but the privilege should come from the state responsibilities. And but if your country cannot provide you well, if your family cannot provide you well, and you blame your country or you blame your family, and I think it's just a shame, that you are, always pointing your fingers outward. But that aside, I must also mention that a lot of people are stuck in where they are because they really cannot do anything because of the state, because of the family. So it's just different from people to people.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Andika, and we hope it answered the question for Novita. And the next question is from Cherisha Wijaya. So if we take a look at education in Indonesia, we are given some subjects in order to encourage the students to be an entrepreneur, such as art class that is combined with an entrepreneur class, with the aims that the student will have. By that means, they should also encourage the students to be researcher, academician, and others that contribute to science itself. What do you think about it, sir?
I think this question is very unique in the way that a lot of perspectives are mixed into this. But what I think is really relevant for our system today is less about what we are learning in class, but how are we able to absorb things that are not really taught in classes. Because wait, I think I should just answer your question first. So I think it's just how things work. You cannot be like in a country like Indonesia, you don't have enough resources to ensure that everyone study what is suitable for them. Like Verlantra is suitable for like arts, for example, or Fani is more suitable for academic studies, for example. I think it's just very difficult for our state to achieve that state, and that's why in Sujita Cita we also have so I mean this I think mute everyone and don't allow people to unmute themselves. Yeah. So I think of course, theoretically, like in a dream world, of course, everyone should be encouraged, should be given the opportunity to do whatever they like and to study whatever they like. But practically, it's just very impossible, especially for where we are today. And that is why it becomes really relevant for us to think about finding what we really like, what we enjoy about ourselves. And that is why Sujita Cita is also going to provide like a personalized self-development plan, which is accessible next January. So next January, you can like answer some questions on Sujita Cita, and it will tell you like what you're suitable and what you can do to achieve what you like. I'm not sure if I get Karisha's question here correctly, because I think like a lot of sentences are thrown here, and I'm just not sure like what you're actually asking about. But I also want to add up on a perspective, which is about, like what you learn in class is one thing, but you learn outside class is another thing. And that is why I always tell people to really focus on learning what is beyond what you learn in the classroom. Thank you, Fernandra.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Andika. So I think there is another question in the chat box. It was from Adit. I'd like to ask something from your perspective about the social capital which can be attained by reaching certain degrees of academic and or certain education. Is the concept of social capital is one of the perspectives that can be contributing to the inequalities that are happening? For instance, the Indonesian easier to find a job in international world rather than in other countries which enough resources. That is relying on international development organization or actors is the best way on addressing the problem, sir.
Thank you, Adit. I think this question is rather like the previous question where we are mixing like a lot of perspective in one question. So I will just try to break it down from one part to another. So the first part, ask something about social capital, which can be attained by reaching certain degrees. I think that concept can contribute to inequalities. Of course. For instance, the Indonesians are easier to find a job in international world rather than other countries which has not enough resources. I'm not really sure what this means. Ferrantra, do you actually understand this question? Because like the question asked by Carissa, I'm not sure if I understand what they are asked. What is being asked?
Okay, maybe the participants try to ask, because Indonesia right now are really relying on international development. Do you think that, like what you said, investing in education and also young generation is actually the best solution for us to like not rely again on international development, or is it necessary for these developing countries to still rely on international actor or organization?
Yeah, I think it's this is a very multi-perspective question, and you really need to have a lot of ingredients to make something work. And in this sense, I feel like there's like no one size fits all answer, and it's not enough to just mention like no, you have to rely on one certain actor and that's the best way to solve the problem. I don't think that's the way how we should look at things. As I mentioned before, these are very complex problems that requires a lot of attention from multiple parties, stakeholders, and that's why it makes more sense to really have a lot of actors putting these puzzles together for Lantra.
Okay, so maybe the next question, sir, it is from Sandra. So the participants ask, I would like to know your opinion about the ospek culture in Indonesia for education development. Based on your opinion, does it decrease the education quality in Indonesia itself? Because the committee tend to say that it is necessary for the leadership development of the students, but the fact that even though through the program there is no involvement of any harmful words and action, but still they disturbs the student in studying because of the amount of assignments given. So should the aspect in Indonesia be deleted or eliminated or not? Thank you.
Right. So this is this is very interesting question, Sandra. A very good question. I feel like this is a very tough question to be answered as well. Why? Because it's going to be very unwise to really just blend in or just combine the practice of everyone together. And by that, I mean, you see, there are some campus that really takes this aspect. So aspect means orientation, by the way, to schools. Some people are doing it very, very great. They are providing all the resources for their juniors, but on the other side, you also have people that really, some people that even cause causalities to people that are having orientation there. And so I think at the end of the day, it really depends on each organization on how they proceed with things. If they do it well, I think it's a very good system to really deliver or pass on the knowledge to the next generation. But if they are done wrong, I think it's just a way to bully other people, and I don't think that's right. And I think everyone can agree on that.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Mr. Andika. We hope that it answered the question. And last question actually from the Google form that has been submitted the day before. So it was from Ancase Rekase Suryo. So he asked that in this COVID-19 pandemic, how do we as a young generation use information and communication technology to prepare ourselves to enter the world of work?
Sorry, I think the middle part, the connection was not good. What did you say?
The question is that in this COVID-19 pandemic, how do we as young generation use information and communication technology to prepare ourselves when we want to enter the work field in the future?
Yeah, I think like a lot of people are using Instagram just for checking up the gossips and the bad news, but I feel like if you use it for applications like Shita, where you can find like a lot of webinars, competitions, scholarship, volunteering activities, that's going to be very helpful for your future. And remember, guys, remember, girls, this is less about, like about anything. This is more about as simple as the more things you have on your CV, the better future you have for yourself. It's as easy as that. I look at like thousands of CVs every month. What I can tell you for sure is that a lot of people are actually doing very, very bad job with their CV. Not about how they write their CV, but like what they put in their CVs, like empty shit, So just be very productive and just to explore yourself and develop yourself. Now, if you're still young, you might not really, feel it, but after you graduate, you feel like, wow, finding a job is tough, and at that point it would be too late for you to make changes. And pandemic or not, the rule applies, the same rules. One, just be very active, join a lot of events, be very very known by people positively. And second is to really consume less but create more. And by that I mean that just be very productive in terms of thinking about what you can add to yourself. And however you wanna take that, it's up to you guys, because I know it's multi-interpretative.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anka. So basically, we have to be more wise by using our social media and be more proactive, actually, yeah. But okay, sadly, the session has ended for the Q&A. So if I may conclude, simple and also general presentation from Mr. Andika said that the investment in our education should prioritize the improvement to human resources first, because education is all about the people, not only the building. That's why what hindering the developing countries such as Indonesia, like corruption or other biggest problem, is need the young generation as a key or tools to change this and learn and also investing more to our skills, so that we can change the landscape of our society. So that the important aspects in empowering our local community is that to integrate education, economy, and also law, so that all young generation needs a particular skills that related to critical thinking that is important to shape individuals' perspective. And also, Mr. Andika said that it's very important for us young generation to know our own talent and what we interested in to achieve our own success and trying to do what best on our passion. So I think that's conclude the last session for Mr. Andika. What an insightful session, and we're really thankful for you for spending your time. I know that you have a lot of activities and busy, Mr. Andika, so we're really grateful actually to have you in this webinar. Before that, the next one is certificate session. So for the committee, can you share the screen for the certificate? Okay. All right, so this is a certificate of appreciation for Mr. Andika. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Andika. But before you leave, I think the committee asked me to do a photo session because this is the last session. So for all the participants and all the committee, can you turn on your camera so that we can take a picture together? All right, I think most of you are turn on your camera. So for the committee or MC, maybe, can you lead the photo session, please? Or let me know if you already take the picture. All right, in my comment, yeah. 3, 2, 1. All right, one again. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you once again for Mr. Andika Sudarman for the last session or webinar. Thank you for joining us. And that's being said, that's also conclude my session as moderator. Thank you for inviting me also.
You have 1 minute to say something.
Oh, okay. Yes, you can, Mr. Andika.
Thank you, Lantra. No problem at all. So everyone here, I just want to tell you that we just met. I'm not anyone to you, But I just want to tell you one thing that I wished, I knew sooner, and that is to just really work hard now, because eventually you have to work hard, and now or later is your choice. A lot of people are just having fun when they're young, and when they are old, then they feel like they are catching up a lot. They are having a lot to catch up. Their jobs are behind other people, and they just feel like their world is stuck. They have a lot of things to pay every month, and they're stuck with that, like mice in like a circus, in like a circuit. And I feel like that can be mitigated by just working as hard as possible from where you are today. And your first job really decides, like, how good your future is going to be. For a lot of people, that's the case. And for you to get a good job, just work really hard, put a lot of things on your CV, have a lot of experience, and be the type of person that you would hire. And I wish you all the best for your study, and just really work hard from now, because you don't want to work hard when you are 28, 30. That will be a little bit too late. You can always say nothing is too late, but nothing is too early as well. So all the best. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Andika Sudarman, once again. And now I turn the session back to Areta and Karido.
Okay, thank you very much for Mr. Ferlanta, for giving us back the screen and the time. For Karido, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay,
Yeah.
hello Karido.
Oh.
Dan, what do you think about the session before? I guess it's quite a talk in the evening, like menjelang senja ini ya. Jadinya lingkarannya semakin berat begitu. Kalau if in Indonesia, in these times, afternoon to evening, it's the time for happy talks, as I mentioned before.
And accomplish our goals, and just be more proactive, as what have Mr. Andika and Mr. Sanjaya has been said before.
Yes, I'm very agreeing with you, because why? Everyone has their own pace, and we should respect their own pace. But no matter what pace you are, being productive, and yes, as you have said, being proactive is very important, because yes, as an individual, we could work on developing our country, developing our world, developing our society. We have influence. So we must make sure to exert that influence and manage to make that influence work for other people and benefit other people, other parties, I guess, also, and yourself, of course.
And also, for Mr. Andika, I adore your public speaking skills and self-confidence. That's really great. Oh,
yes.
That what I call as a self-improvement and self-development get our success. Oh, anyway, for the webinar sessions, that what I have been expected before, that's going for a fruitful webinar. Thank you to our speakers, our moderator, and our beloved committee.
Okay, so maybe after this, we have almost reached at the very end of our session. But before that, please let us capture this very precious memory through the photo session. Yes, please be ready. Be ready with your action. Yes, maybe. And please, for the operator to conduct us through the photo session. And please, for Karido, please delete us through the photo session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Areta. For the operator, you may prepare and going to the stage. And for participants, just prepare your smile and pose. And we are glad to see some expressive pose over the screen. Just express yourself. Okay?
Yes, go on. Please do join us through the photo session. Please open your camera and please smile brightly as the mood is getting lighter again, and we're just having fun through the photo session. So please join us and open your camera.
Okay. I'm sure that the operator or committee has been on the floor. So I will conduct for about 3 photo sessions. Start from now, the first photo sessions. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Second time. 3, 2, 1, and say cheese. Okay, last but not least, last photo sessions. Just prepare some expressive pose over the screen. Yeah. Okay, let we conduct on 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. That was some expressive pose over my screen. And we are going into the end of the line of this webinar. Anyway, I'm feeling sad right now.
Why, Karido?
Just because we have finally, unfortunately, and sadly, we have reached our end of all the session. Oh.
Yeah. Yes, you're very true about it, but once again, before we end, we would like to express our deepest gratitude towards our sponsors and media partners because Global Class Webinar 2021 wouldn't be able to be achieved without the participation and the support from our sponsors and media partners. Our sponsors, which is Global Class Webinar is sponsored by you and Postpay Post Indonesia. For all the participants, you could use the referral code from you and the Postpay. The referral code from by you is HIUNDIP or HIUNDIP, and from Postpay is PG611.00M. Let's use this special code and don't miss the opportunities to get some gift. Yes. Through this code, first you must download the apps and then follow the simple steps as you insert the referral code by joining us. You can also get free top up from Postpay. And before that, we would like to remind for the participants, please to be careful with your mic because it's very sensitive, and please do cooperate with us through the event so it will go smoothly as a carpet. So, for Carido, would you please continue?
Yeah, absolutely. And not limited to the sponsors, our webinar have several media partners. First of all, our media partners, which are Juta Cita, and then LPM Opini, TXT dari Hubungan Internasional, Event Campus, and we also embrace BEM Undip, Asia Pacific Youth, info selanjutnya, and the last but not least, UMN Radio.
Yes.
That's great.
That's very many and very great. We're very thankful.
And in the end, we'd like to express our deepest gratitude.
And bid our goodbyes through this event. Matur
Matur nuwun.
nuwun.
Ciao. Danke.
Danke. Natsi.
Natsi, ragazzi. Yeah.
Bye.
Gracias.
Thank you.
See you later. Take care.
See you later. And share in another.
See you later, guys. See you all in another occasion, another webinar, or maybe another event. Bye bye.
For the committee, please don't waste the room after this because we will quick evaluation.
Excuse me. So after this, we will have a quick evaluation, right? Sorry, because it's kind of loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
Through this Zoom also.